Hey guys, Maria Menounos here. Hope you tune into my show, Untold with Maria Menounos, this Thursday night at 8 on E!
You're tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans. Welcome back to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After Show here on AfterBuzz TV, talking about Season 2, Episode 8, The Things We Bury. I'm Matt Lieberman. I am so jazzed to be back. I was out of town last week. Everybody else held it down, and I get to talk about one of the best episodes of this show ever to air. So I'm really, really stoked.
Definitely up there.
Definitely up there. I don't know if it's top 5, definitely top 10. There's only, 30 episodes to choose from, so I think we're in good hands. Saying it's in the top 10. Joining me tonight, as always, the lovely Miss Megan Salinas is here.
Hey, agents.
And the brilliant Mr. Zach Wilson.
Hey, guys. Welcome back.
Yes. Joyce Ashuri, unfortunately, not here tonight. She's not feeling well. Send her your love on the Twitter at JAJouri. That's JAJOURI. Yes. So, people, this episode, great. And here's the thing. I've been watching Gotham. For another show that I do on a different network, where we review a lot of shows, this show included. And this show, to me, is proof that you can do a comic book show well on TV and do a serialized comic book show well on TV, which that show has serialized elements, but it's so bogged down in this case of the week garbage. Every week, we are doing something different here, but it is always to forward the plot. And in this episode, we are forwarding every plot that we have on the table, even if it's just small moments. Even, the Fitzsimmons leftover kind of tensioniness is kind of addressed in one line, from Simmons in this episode. I just had a blast watching it. What did you think?
Holy cow. Like, this definitely, this episode and last week's episode, there's just so much jam-packed into both of them, plot-wise. It's just an adrenaline rush to watch.
It's like the extra stuffed Hot Pockets, where it's just like, you don't know how they got all of it in there.
It's true.
It's just like, you bite into it and you're like, oh, there's good. Wait, there's more. Wow, what? When will it end? Because they keep building the finesse that it takes from a writing standpoint to have all of these plot lines in what, I lost track of how many different stories we're dealing with here. We've got Bakshi, we've got Whitehall, we've got Hunter and Bob. I guess that's part of the Bakshi story.
We've got Grant Ward, Christian Ward. We've got the Doctor. We've got the Doctor in Sky, the Doctor in Coulson. We've got the search for the city, and where is that taking us? We have Fitz coming into his own once again.
We have this mini story with Peggy Carter and Daniel Whitehall in the past.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure will feed into Peggy Carter when that
They're
airs
taking
in January.
every opportunity to plug her into this show to get people to watch Agent Carter.
Well, they're going to be intertwined.
Yeah.
There's no question in my mind.
I was actually thinking about it today. I'm actually partially surprised that they're not just calling it Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent Carter. Like a subline, because they're airing
Agents
it.
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
They're airing it while S.H.I.E.L.D. is off the air, so it's almost like
because they want to try to maybe get some viewers in who are already burned on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And
that's fair. Okay,
make a new spy show with everything that they've learned from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Make a new comic spy show that might draw in new viewers that may then return to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. having seen a good example of what their powers are like at this point. Right. Where they are and where they're strongest. But now I have a level of concern, since we keep seeing elements of it, that it won't be different enough from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, it will look different, the characters are different, but if it's all the same story, then aren't I just watching an 8-week prequel like just an 8-week flashback?
Well,
Not necessarily.
Well, that's why I say that I'm surprised that the title's not intertwined, because I guess that's what I'm feeling right now, is that they feel so intertwined.
My guess is that it's going to be its own like thing that, yeah, technically a prequel, but it's going to be its own contained thing. But at the end of it, they're going to drop something that will have consequences down the road for S.H.I.E.L.D. that we can't even picture yet because we don't have all the pieces yet. That's my guess.
And could potentially keep Agent Carter going separate from S.H.I.E.L.D. if the audience enjoys it enough.
Right. Well, let's talk about that element. Let's talk about Daniel Whitehall. We get to see his past with the Diviner. We get to learn exactly what it is. Namely, it could be used as a weapon, but what it really does is it picks out worthy humans and kills off the rest of it. It ends the rest of humanity. It's a doomsday, not quite. It is a weapon. Isn't it? Is it not? It's
a Terrigen
Well,
mist.
the doctor said that there's something inside of it.
Yeah.
A Terrigen
mist. Here, can you explain to me and to the people at home what Terrigen mist is? Because people keep tweeting me Terrigen mist.
Okay.
Inhumans,
This
right?
was, it's related to the Inhumans. It was used in a recent storyline called Infinity in the comic books. Infinity, it revolved around Thanos and this whole other space war thing, but the Terrigen mist came into play on Earth when it was released on New York City. Anyone who came into contact with it, if they had any Inhuman ancestry, I'm talking like 150th, like the tiniest bit, if you had any Inhuman ancestry, you transformed into an Inhuman. You had people that were transforming into crazy wild creatures because it's much more like graphic than like, let's say, X-Men style mutants.
Right.
And then you had some that were like the current Miss Marvel Kamala Khan as an Inhuman, which she gets special powers with it.
She's adorable.
It's effectively just a gas.
Okay.
That transforms some small percent of the population.
Which, if we can take the doctor at his word, that does sound significantly, scientifically speaking, cooler.
Yes, and it also doesn't mean that it will kill the rest of the human race. Ending the human race could basically be saying paving the way for the next evolutionary step in humankind. It could be saying once there are so many of these Inhumans all over the planet, all of these gifteds, that effectively humanity as a race is over, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it will kill all these people, but it could be used to kill them, and that's what Daniel Whitehall wants. Yeah.
It's interesting, and it fits because the city and the Inhumans have a hidden city called Adelon. There's apparently I don't know a huge amount about their origins, but they are in China. They're part Kree.
Which Blue Angels.
Falling from the sky.
Falling from the sky. I also want to give a shout out to Mr. Reed Diamond, who does a great job this week portraying Reinhardt and Whitehall at all of his different stages over the course of, almost a century.
Dang. Because you have
7 decades.
young Whitehall, and then he gets old in prison, and then he gets restored to his youth, but has to change a lot of aspects about himself in order to, make the cover fit.
Yeah.
I mean, just the German accent was totally spot on, and then it's just like he seamlessly transitions it into this American dude.
Yeah. I also just love his scenes with the Doctor, who says he's calm, but is still like unhinged in a way that I've never quite seen unhinged play before by Mr. Kyle MacLachlan. I really enjoy this character because I don't quite know what's going on in his head. He says he's gonna rip him apart when he discovers his wife, late wife, played by Dai-Chen Lockman, who lovely cast over from Dollhouse back in the day. Always happy to see her pop up in places, but we don't see him rip the entire village apart like all the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents said back in the day. Like that when she was discovered, when the 084 was discovered, is because there were all these legends of like her parents were horrible monsters that destroyed and killed.
I mean, if he is an Inhuman or something that's semi-alien, as we suspect, I mean, he could very well transform into something and tear through the village in his grief.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing with the Inhumans is that they're all completely different. So they could take on any form.
Yeah. In any case, the Doctor knows about the city. He says that there is a temple that only the worthy may enter. Whitehall obviously wants to find this city, and he's going to give the Doctor whatever resources he requires to do so, much to the Doctor's delight, because he's totally going to find whatever it is in this temple, and he's going to pick it up, and then he's going to bash Daniel Whitehall's brains in with it. Yeah.
Could be that, or it could be like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and there's just a guy there waiting to go, he chose poorly.
That's one of my favorite lines in all of pop culture. You chose wisely. Meanwhile, Grant Ward, on the run,
Holy
doing
cow.
whatever he wants, tracks down his brother who's trying to set up a sweet little affair weekend at his cabin, his family's cabin. But Ward kills both of his guards and drags them into the woods and is like, no. You can't turn this on me. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Okay? You're going to admit to what you did at the well. And I loved this sequence because, once again, I don't know quite who to believe. Even though I know Grant Ward better than I know Christian Ward, there's a lot of sense to be made from what Christian is saying.
Well, at first, when he does confess, when he does make that confession, it like you do kind of want to believe it, because it's like, okay, especially with the way, Ward hugged him and everything afterwards, and it's like, let's go home. But then with the way it ends, with like that fire and everything like that, it's like, oh gosh, maybe he wasn't telling the truth. Maybe he literally was just trying to save his own life, and it didn't help anyway. Maybe Grant Ward is this monster that his brother made him out to be.
I don't know. What do you think, Zach?
Right up until the like confession moment, it felt like it could go either way. And I legitimately wasn't sure. There were times where I could not tell who was the evil brother.
Yeah.
Who was the bad
and
twin.
even more questions are raised about, their parents, their mom in particular, who apparently seems to be the instigator of all of this by like tormenting them like when they're children. That's really messed up and not really touched upon very much at all up until this point.
Yeah, it's true. I honestly believe that Christian finally did come clean about the truth about what happened at the well at the very end, and that I was really disturbed by the fact that Grant used that as an opportunity to frame him for his parents' murder, and also to gain a little bit of retribution for the fire that he started that launched him down his path of villainy in the first place. The fire that ultimately landed him with Garrett. The fire was it at home or was it at school? I feel like
it was their home.
It was their home.
Do we know, like, because we found out that Thomas didn't die at the well, because that was kind of iffy too. But we find out from this that it almost killed him. Do we know where Thomas is at right now?
No.
Do we know what's happened to him?
But considering that we're pretty short on wards right now, it'd be great to have one waiting in the wings, considering that I thought Christian was going to be an adversary for a long, long time. But it turns out that he lost all of his devious, weaselly guts when he became an adult.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was a senator, so he didn't lose it all.
That's true.
No, he's still manipulative, and he was still a powerful guy.
But his brother can kill you with his thumb.
Yeah, he knows if he goes in that hole, he's not coming back out. So at that point, he's like, his only card to play is the truth. So he lets it out, not thinking that he might just be dead anyway. I thought that I was looking at them both standing there after he like lets him up. I was like, which one's gonna push him into the hole?
Yeah.
Which one's gonna push the other?
I thought he was going to throw him in the hole. Yeah, the Grant was going to push him in the hole.
I thought they were both gonna go for it, and then like obviously like.
And then
Grant's
whichever
not
one
going
didn't
in.
push the other one, it's like, okay, that's the one you root for. But
Yeah. But
that's not what happened
in any
at
case,
all.
Grant Ward ultimately puts himself in a position of power. He brings himself to Whitehall, and he basically this triple killing is his way of saying of getting in deep with Hydra. He's both taking care of a personal vendetta and using it to be able to get in deep with them. I honestly believe that he's still on the side of righteousness, that he is not full-on Hydra. He's not a believer. He was just looking for a home, and these were the first people that ever treated him like he was valued in any way.
I don't think righteousness is the right word, but I'm with you in terms of I don't think he's still on Team Hydra. I think ultimately he's using them as means to an end. Either that or he's going to be an inside man, working in Hydra in the same way that he was an inside man with S.H.I.E.L.D. And that he's ultimately going to try to use this to get back into either the team's good graces or just Sky's good graces.
I'm not sure that he's trying to get back into their good graces at all.
Maybe not, or maybe just use them to get to Sky.
Yeah, I'm not. The thing that I'm not sure of is what exactly Ward is after at this point. But I think he's just on his own path. I think he's done with S.H.I.E.L.D. in terms of he doesn't work with them anymore. Mm-hmm. He's
never been a Hydra believer.
Yeah, he's never been truly Hydra.
He was just Garrett's man.
Yeah, so what is it that he's after? He could be going the route of a true villain who's just has his own goals and does his own thing, allies with certain groups when he feels the need to, and then he goes off on his way.
Yeah.
He's becoming maybe not villain, but definitely the anti-hero of the show.
Agreed, and we need one. I like that he's an unpredictable element. Also, we finally potentially get confirmation that he didn't know Sky's father at all, because the Doctor shows no recognition when he sees him. Now, he could be playing some kind of subtler game because he doesn't want Whitehall to know that they know each other, because Grant is also not saying that they know each other. But it definitely was curious, especially considering that he's just been saying all season long, I'll take you to your father, I'll take you to your father, I know where your father is. Your father would...
He could know where he is without knowing who he is.
Interesting.
Wouldn't it be funny, though, if they met before this and they're playing some sort of long con together to take out Whitehall and Hydra?
Interesting. It's
and
definitely
and
possible.
maybe Coulson as well, kill two birds with one stone.
Well, I don't think... Do you think that the Doctor wants to kill... It's so weird to say the Doctor on a show that's not Doctor Who.
I know, right?
Do you think...
Very confused. When he came in,
Yeah.
and I was joking around. I was just like, when he comes in, I'm a doctor. I was like, he's a British accent away.
Anyway, do you think that he wants to kill both Whitehall and Coulson?
I don't know if he wants to make a good impression with Sky.
That's
his
true.
first and foremost concern. He did say that he wants to take away, he wants to kill the people that took away his daughter and ruined his life in his view. And Whitehall took away his wife. Coulson S.H.I.E.L.D. took away his daughter. So why wouldn't he want to take both of them out? It's a matter of doing it correctly, though. Again, because you only get one chance at that first impression.
You blew it already. The pile of bodies, buddy. You're done. Donezo. I don't know.
Well, but meeting him in person, I guess, he's hoping that when he looks her in the eye, she'll
quiver in
Daddy!
trouble, Daddy.
Well,
Not so. She's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I like what you said about the way he's played unhinged, because it's not off the wall crazy like the Joker or something like that. But you legitimately don't know when he's going to snap and explode at somebody. It keeps you on your toes.
He's calm, but so loose that it makes you uncomfortable.
It reminds me in a loose way of Bruce Banner. Not just because of the strength, well, a little bit because of the strength, but just he's calm, but at the same time he's nervous. He's constantly on edge, worried about what he might do, what might happen. He's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, definitely scary. All right, folks, before we move on, I just want to talk really quickly about iTunes, as we do. And do you remember why? Can you say it back to me? Repeat after me. If you go to iTunes and rate and review the shows that you listen to or that you watch on YouTube.
And rate and review the shows that we listen to or you watch on YouTube.
Thank you,
Yay!
Sean. It helps out everyone here at AfterBuzz TV.
It helps out everyone here at AfterBuzz TV.
It's true. Why is that? Because your ratings and reviews are what brings sponsors to this network. It's quick, it's easy, it doesn't cost you a single solitary dime, and it keeps our lights on and our doors open. We here at AfterBuzz are proud to say that we produce, what is a produce? We produce the widest array and the largest amount of after-show content anywhere on the web. Anywhere in the world. We cover over 80 hours of free after-show content every single week. We're very, very proud of that fact. We want to keep that going. So why don't you go over to iTunes, rate and review the show. You get a great shout out here on the show. And sometimes, like last week, you win a sweet poster. So we got some new reviews this week. Zach?
Yeah, just a couple after the overwhelming amount from last week,
Yes,
which had me in
kudos to you.
awe of you guys. You guys
Yeah.
are awesome. Just some quick stuff. Some of the people who entered in the contest. Something to keep in mind, guys. The iTunes doesn't update very often.
It's delayed
slow.
a few days.
But some people who didn't quite get in their shout outs on time. Rachel Dominic says, I love this podcast. I love to just listen, laugh, and geek out with you guys.
Oh, thank you, Rachel.
Gleeky TARDIS.
Yeah.
Essential podcast for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Great show. I look forward to hearing the host's opinions after each new episode. Keep up the good work. I'm just gonna this is a long review, but the voice of choice remains supreme. Lyra Donaire. I'm just gonna skip to the end where they say, since we can't all in the poster, can we at least get Matt to show off his new muscles from his 2 months to Thanksgiving?
Yes,
Show
do I have
it
new
off,
muscles?
Matt.
I did for a hot second.
I got some beef.
Check
I
out
want to
these
see
guns.
Matt Lieberman versus Grant Ward.
I would lose.
That's why I want to see it.
Why do you hate me? Why do you have it in for me, Zach Wilson?
That's how you learn, man.
I
That's how
guess
you get
so.
better.
Okay, it's true.
And lastly, really great podcast from Jay Jocham. This after show is simply entertaining. I listen to it all the time and occasionally watch, and both are excellent. If you like Agents, give this podcast a shot. The panel is great at going over each episode and coming up with crazy theories.
Yes, sir.
Do love our crazy theories.
It's a cool little
Strings out there.
It's a
I
cool
haven't
little
heard
thing that
that
they do.
one yet.
You haven't heard that one?
No, that's so cool.
It pops up every now and again.
You can always tell when Sean's engineering.
Yeah.
It sounds like the
likes that one.
AfterBuzz Glee Club.
Yeah.
Barbershop Quartet.
Yeah. So as we investigate Whitehall, as we see some of his past, as viewers, we also are investigating him at S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ, led by May, while Coulson goes off on a Hawaiian vacation. Coulson Goes Hawaiian is a spinoff that I would watch.
Basically, any show with a character, if you just send them to Hawaii, it's a great spinoff.
Yeah. But this crew especially. Fitz Goes Hawaiian is very, very funny. Him on a surfboard, hysterical. Perfect. Epic ratings.
Would this be like a S.H.I.E.L.D. Hawaii 5-0 type deal?
I would watch that crossover. Yeah, just saying. Although it's Dano, right? Dano
Yeah.
wouldn't know what to do with an Inhuman. Book him, Dano.
Hawaiians.
I can't. I'm dead because he threw me at a wall and I broke in half.
Yeah, no, that's no good.
It's no good at all.
I'm trying to think of what an acronym you could crazy shield out of pineapple or Hawaii or
What?
his
Poi?
strategic homeland.
Agents
et cetera,
of
et cetera.
Poi. Agents of Poi. Political Operations Initiative. I don't know.
Well, and I'm sure S.H.I.E.L.D. probably had a base in Hawaii at some point.
Yeah.
Called the Luau.
Yes, exactly. Oh, the luau. Funny. So, Bobby is interrogating Mr. Bakshi, who, as we know from previous episodes, very cool customer. And, they're both kind of getting at each other. They're both expert interrogators. And we get to kind of continue to examine the relationship between Bobby and Hunter, who has several great quips as he's watching her interrogate him throughout this episode, because he knows what that's like, man. He's lived it.
She's chipping away at him.
Yeah.
It's nice to watch someone else suffer.
Exactly. And Bakshi says something that's very, very curious. He says, that Daniel Whitehall is a disciple of Red Skull, and that he's committed to his vision. And it just kind of rings in her, and she's like, what is that? What can that mean? There's no way that he could know him, but So they go down into the vault and they hunt through all these records and discover, finally, our heroes know, that Daniel Whitehall's one of them immortal people. He's one of them long livers, okay? But not only that, he got to old age and then reversed it, but we don't know with what. He put every kind of bit of Kree in him that he possibly could, so we don't know which one actually made him reverse his age. Do we have any theories on that? Zach.
I mean, I guess you could argue that any of it would have that effect. Because we don't know what these people are yet. Mm-hmm. But if they are part Kree at minimum, they have even a fraction of the healing capacity that the GH 134 was it?
325.
25. I'm sorry, there's too many numbers. There's a lot of numbers in this show.
235. 325.
325.
There's a GH that's very important.
325.
It that brought people back to life. Mm-hmm. So swap out some organs. So you got to figure that that's going to be way more effective.
I can't believe how brutal they got with this dissection on ABC at 9 p.m.
Really graphic for this channel.
They didn't even,
Ripped her
think
skin
they had
open?
a viewer discretion of eyes, did they?
I didn't see one.
I mean, I'm proud of them for going there.
Yeah, no, that was definitely dark, and it definitely
makes you hate the guy.
You want to feel the consequences of something like this, and it's disturbing because it should be. You literally just cut a woman open alive.
And it was very well done because they showed just enough to paint that picture in your head, but not too much to make it, viewer discretion advised.
I wonder if they have a cut that's way more horrifying, and they're like, how's this? And they're like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? And then they give them this cut, which is what they wanted, and they're like, oh, okay.
Shows do that sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Although as great and awesome as it was to get answers about, especially with Whitehall, because we're like, why is he, why does he look immortal? There was actually a bit of this interaction between Bakshi and Bobby that and it's probably nothing, but it does have me raising an eyebrow ever so slightly, because early on in the interrogation, she plants the idea that maybe he's been brainwashed. Mm-hmm. And, she doesn't think he's been brainwashed, but she wants to let him stew with that idea until it drives him crazy. And that made me think, well, we have two members of our team who spent significant amounts of time with Hydra. What if one of them is brainwashed and we don't know?
I think that's a great idea.
Because how crazy would it be if either Bobby and or Simmons were discovered at one point, brainwashed, and then are sleeper cells right now?
They get a code word activation.
Yeah, it definitely... Here's the thing. Bobby, yeah, that makes sense. Far more interesting if it's Simmons. Far more interesting if before we even met her again in her episode in the early part of the season,
if she had
with
been
the adorable
discovered
song,
and brainwashed.
Yes, she had been discovered, brainwashed, and then they were just kind of ignoring it for a while.
They were waiting for S.H.I.E.L.D. to come back in.
And they just kept making her nervous about it to try to get them to bring her back.
That seems like a lot because of the fact that Bobby, they would have had to know that Bobby would extract her, or maybe they just assumed that there was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent inside who would extract her. I guess
I'm gonna go with the latter.
It's possible.
we weren't with Bobby for months and months and months while she was with Hydra, so who knows? Anytime at that point. And it could have been any time in between episodes with Gemma, because that first episode, Whitehall is like, if we can't get her to, we'll just brainwash her and get her to comply.
Yeah.
So literally any time after that, Gemma could have gotten taken up to that boardroom and been brainwashed.
Very true.
It's true. Very interesting idea. And we even, get to just have a moment with Simmons where she's like, I spent a lot of time with this dude. Yeah, you better believe that I want to see him go down. So it's just kind of reminding us these two have a past.
And
Also,
someone like Fitz who might be able to spot a red flag, isn't hanging around her as much. She's spending a lot more time by herself.
Ooh, and I bet he's going to feel real bad about that. He's going to feel real bad that he didn't spot it because his attention's been elsewhere on Mac's supple pecs.
They are very distracting.
They're very distracting pecs. Bakshi also insinuates that Bobby did a lot of horrible things while working at Hydra to maintain her cover, which, it just comes with the job. She's a good operative. She's going to do what she has to do. And Hunter basically says as much. And I love... I said a few weeks ago I didn't want to see them bicker every episode. I love where their fight went this week of just sort of like, she's like, you will never trust me. Yeah, but I'll always want to. Bros, can I just say, stick that in your back pocket and you use it when you got to.
Hold on to it. You might find a lady who doesn't watch S.H.I.E.L.D. You should make her watch S.H.I.E.L.D. It's good relationship
Zach.
advice.
And then they kiss.
But
Yes! Yes! Yeah, they had hot car sex, and we are reminded once again, Adrienne Palicki is a tall woman. She's very tall. She's a very, very tall woman. She's very tall. Wow, she's tall. Boom! She's just she's very tall. All right? Tall.
step ladder.
You gotta, and then you gotta climb up, and then you gotta take the elevator because she's tall.
The logistics of it.
Very difficult. Okay. In any case, Bakshi uses a suicide cheekbone, which I've never seen before, cyanide cheekbone, to kill himself, but they get to him in time, so he's not dead. He's just incapacitated. And now we can finally talk about Coulson and Sky and Trip and Fitz having this hilarious esoteric Hawaiian adventure. Here, Sky, take this watch. Take this watch. Get it engraved with this message. If it leaks, you better run. Trip.
This doesn't sound like a watch.
Take this button. Take it here. Get a blue tie and then report back. Fitz, you work on this thing until you can get it under 6 minutes. Okay. I'm going to go take a Coulson nap. Yeah. And I just loved that the tie was a tie that the cellist had given him that he got poi on. Oh, we miss her. She was so good.
She needs to come back.
Yeah.
It's been in that dry cleaners for a while.
A long time.
There's been stuff.
There's been stuff, okay? Yeah, so it was a part of an elaborate plan to shut down a satellite grid so that the backup grid in Australia would come online. Somehow, the Doctor knew all about this backup grid and was there with Hydra agents ready and waiting. And we have a lovely shootout in the dark. Trip gets hit with 2 bullets, and the Doctor has to operate. But he cuts his brachial artery because he's a huge dick. He calls him Phil and realizes that his jig is 100% up.
I love how smooth that moment was, though. Right, Phil? I probably shouldn't have called you Phil. That gave it away, didn't it? And he just keeps going. He's just
still
like,
working.
I got it. I don't even have to think about it. I'm gonna kill this guy possibly, but you're gonna listen while I do it.
Well, he's been practicing the medical arts probably for 300 years.
That's true. We don't know how old these people are.
Yeah.
Yeah. If nothing else, at least for the last 20 some odd.
Sure.
In preparation to tear Whitehall apart.
I just got
We don't
a
know
theory,
that he's a medical doctor.
a theory about Sky's mom.
Doctor of horribleness.
A theory about Sky's mom and the chosen divined people that I'm not going to share because it's completely dirty and stupid. Just basically, if you have the genetic material of a Kree in you, then you come back to life, or you have long life, right?
Oh.
I think I see what you're
insinuating quietly to myself as I just kind of lightly slap myself in the face over and over and over again.
If you want to get healed, the doctor has to just give you some of his medicine.
His medicine. And that's where we'll leave it.
Lord.
Yeah. So, Skye sadly does not come face to face with her father this week. She was busy working with her team of other hackers that just happened to be on the bus this whole time.
And
We've
we're
never seen
interns.
before.
Yeah, we looked at that one kid who's just standing. He's got like the red
Got the
hair.
lanyard.
Yeah, he looks. He's a S.H.I.E.L.D. intern.
Yeah.
It's adorable. Well, we know that, she has a lot of hacker contacts. So I don't know if she brought in her own, like, kind of team of hackers, or if this was literally, like, pulling from the S.H.I.E.L.D. talent pool, but they looked like interns.
I mean,
at least that one guy did.
Yeah.
We do know that there are still S.H.I.E.L.D. agents scattered across the globe, so I guess you just call up one or two.
Right.
And you're like,
It was just sort of like,
who's that guy?
what show am I watching? Yeah. In any case, they find the city. They find the
Yeah.
city. I can't believe we're already going to the city. I thought that's where we'd be going in the last episode of the season.
Yeah, seriously.
And that it would be on another planet.
or the moon.
Ooh.
Except that it's not, because we when we were watching, we freeze framed it when they're like match found. We
Looks
like
like
went
it's
back
in North America
and we were
somewhere.
watching on an enormous screen. That little like zoom in of a city is hovered right over like Central America, let's say. I think it was pointing towards Panama. And I'm basing that on just like where the little lines were falling. And also in that image, you could see coast on one side, clearly some waves on the right side. And then it looked like another body of water towards the other side. So theoretically, it could be by the Panama Canal.
Interesting. I like these ideas. These are very, very smart, very, very fresh. Trip is still alive.
Thank
Fitzy is
God.
amazing. He's coming back bit by bit. He hasn't had any stutters for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's doing great. And now he's back in the field and can actually, given enough practice, he can do things lickety-split. It's great.
Imagine what's going to happen when he gets some GH up in him. Huh? Or some medicine.
From the doctor.
Yes. Okay. It is time for predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Folks, I apologize. This episode's a little short and sweet this week. We got started a little late because the previous show ran a bit over, but we will try to give you a longer one next week. Or not next week, the following week when we have a new show. So, yeah, folks, what do we think is going to happen? We have the search for the city. We have all of our villains in the same house. What's up?
Agent 33 is still alive.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah,
what
the
that
fake
way.
May.
Yeah, Faux May,
She
she's
looks
coming
just
back.
like Agent May, and then I wouldn't even connect it for a second, and then you guys were like, "It's Agent 33." Oh,
Well, especially because she's got that big old burn mark on her face.
Yeah.
it's
She's-
just fused to her face.
I think it's real cool. I'm real excited about that. That's fun. Another May on May fight will be sweet.
Any Ming-Na? Well, it looks like we got Skyverse.
Yeah, Skye versus
Verse.
May. So we can try out all of her skills against her SO, sort of. SO also can stand for sort of. So her SO. Yeah, her so-so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like just the fact that she's still alive, because that was a huge question, was whether or not she was dead, and she's clearly not. She's still alive and kicking, and it looks like she's still working for Hydra. It looks like she's still, brainwashed, and or is just really mad that May burned her face.
I think she's rogue. I don't think she's like working for Hydra. I think she's just personal vendetta, or she's just crazy. What do you think, Zach?
Well, first on that, I mean, maybe she got the brainwashing reset. If it's just like in the Avengers and you're brainwashed,
You just
and
gotta
as
get
Black
hit hard
Widow-
enough in
yeah,
the head.
I give you a reset. I hit
Yeah.
you really, really hard in the head. But now I'm like the wheels are turning. Okay, so they're over a city in Central America, a hidden city. That would be the Aztec El Dorado.
Ooh.
Yes.
I don't know what that is within the Marvel universe.
The glorious city. Yeah.
But that would be a hidden, like, I don't know that they've ever gone there in Marvel. It's if they have, I'm not familiar with it. But like a golden city hidden beneath the earth fits in that part of the world.
In that sort of canon.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
If it was El Dorado.
I think that would be really sweet. All right, folks, I want to thank you so much for joining us this week. Oh, yeah, one more?
There's some moments in this episode that I feel like have to be commented
Okay.
on. Well, like in terms of good story, I like that Trip actually got some character development where he
Finally!
was loyal. He's like the loyal S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. That's why we haven't really heard from him, because he's just like, I'll do whatever Coulson wants.
Yeah.
But also, I would be remiss if we did not call out that they got call signs at one point, and somebody's like, Paddington and Time Lord. And I love. Did Simmons give Fitz the code name of Time Lord because we know that she's a Doctor Who fan?
What if she gave him Paddington, as in Paddington Bear, because he's like loyal and he gets into trouble. And he's cute.
That would be adorable.
That would be adorable. Oh, no, that's why she would give it to Triplet, because he's just a big bear. Okay. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching us this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks with an all-new episode. Megan Salinas, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at The Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I'm also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz.
Okay, and Zach Wilson.
You guys can catch me on Twitter at @ZachWilson, ThatzachWilson. A bunch of shows you hear afterwards. Sleepy Hollow, Grimm, bunch of others. Thank you guys.
Okay, and you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman. That's MattLieberman. You can find all my videos for SourceFed Nerd, and my personal channel on YouTube, youtube.com/Matthew D. Lieberman. And if you like comic book shows, you can turn into SourceFed Nerd every Friday afternoon, where we do a show called Superhero Roundup. We review Gotham, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Flash, Arrow, Constantine, and talk about all the Marvel and DC movie news you can handle. Thank you so much. See you in 2 weeks. Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.